Today, we're testing metallic watercolors, specifically these Kuretake Gansai Tombi watercolors. I bought these from Amazon for about $12. They have many different sets of different colors. I chose a gold and silver combo. Let's open them up and see what they're all about. I learned in this process that Gansai actually refers to the Japanese name for watercolor paint, and Tombi is aesthetic, so these are a Japanese watercolor. This set comes with 6 different metallic colors in different pans, and they sit inside this cardboard box, and they're loose. I didn't realize that and dumped them everywhere. The pans themselves are actually really nice, and they feel like they're good quality, but I'm not a huge fan of how they come just kind of in this cardboard box. Working with watercolor, I imagine this cardboard is going to get soaked and kind of malformed quickly. Up close, they definitely shimmer and shine as I had expected of a metallic color. I'm really curious to see how these are going to perform on paper, so let's do some experimenting. Okay, we'll get everything all set up. And the first thing I want to do is try to just go in with a dry or a wet brush and see how quickly these activate. If I can go straight from just a wet brush on a dry pan to getting some sort of pigment. So let's see how that works. So I just go in with my wet brush and kind of smush it around in the pan, and I'm not getting much of anything. Let's try on a different color. Maybe it's just because it's such a light silver. Again, still not getting much of anything. This isn't really super surprising to me because you would get a similar result using normal watercolors. I'm going to go ahead and spritz each one of these pans and just wait for a few seconds to see how well they perform once I've let them kind of sit and soak. Now that they've had some time to absorb the color, let's see how they do. You can tell that they're already much more pigmented. My brush really picked up a lot of that color. It nicely saturated with the paint and the water. And I am getting color down here. This is just a very silvery color, so you're not going to see much pigment on the white. But let's go ahead and look at that shine. Okay. We're going to work our way up the metallic color scale. And see how each of these perform. We're already getting a little more pigment, but not a ton more. As we work our way up this kind of golden palette, you really start to see the pigment start to come through. And then suddenly, man, it is there, and that gold is beautiful. So far, I'm pretty happy with the pigments. I do have to say there is kind of a strange smell. It smells a little bit like gelatin. I'm not sure if Japanese watercolors use a slightly different binder than kind of the more traditional ones I'm used to. So maybe that's a natural smell of these types. Let's get a closer look, and you'll notice that it really peaks around that 903. So it was the third one in from the left. But they're all quite nice, and they do shimmer and sparkle. But let's see how they do on a darker background, because sometimes metallics don't do as well on light backgrounds. I'm really excited to see how the silver does on the black because you can't see it on the white. And it sure does give a nice silver sheen. And I do find it funny that the two lighter colors of gold have, you know, fairly little pigment, whereas the darker ones, or the middle one, has the most. It just really stands out. Let's get in a bit closer to take a better look at these. I was pretty happy with the black coverage, but I wanted to test one last thing. How well did they kind of work or flow together? So what I'm going to do is just kind of try to freely work with them in the space below. I painted on a few kind of stripes, and then I added more colors. And then what I'm going to do after I add these colors is kind of use the watercolor to see if I can blend them together. You can really see kind of the different colors here, and I'm going in with the water now. And I can definitely soften the edges, but it seems like it just picks up a lot of the pigment rather than kind of blending them together. It does, in essence, kind of blend them, but it also removes a lot of the paint that you have down there. I also wanted to see how well you can kind of layer them to build up some color. And you definitely can kind of add pigment to pigment a little bit, but you have to be careful because they seem to want to spread underneath when water touches them again. Overall, I thought these were really pretty. They really have a lot of fun shine, and they're fun to play with. They'll definitely be great for accents and just adding some shine and shimmer. I mean, look how pretty it is even when you just put it straight on the brush. Oh yeah. When I was done testing, I spent probably too long watching the glitter and shimmer just swirl in the water here. It's really mesmerizing. So to test these, I didn't really have a great plan. I just kind of wanted to play off some colors that I thought would be really pretty with these metallics, and I specifically wanted to use that real golden metallic that showed up the most. So let's just see what happens. I'm really enjoying mixing these with the watercolors, but I am having trouble, kind of as I said, when you try to paint over it. You can't really paint over it. It kind of mixes in and fades away. It's not great for layering. Since this was just a play piece that was coming out of my imagination, I liked what I had, but I decided I kind of wanted to pump up the volume a little bit and add some real high contrast. So I went in with both kind of a microfine marker and a Sharpie and added all sorts of fun small details to really kind of take this to the next level. I really thought this piece turned out neat, especially since I had no plan. But the metallic watercolors did great with the other watercolors as long as I didn't layer them. And adding in kind of the Sharpie and the fine point pen just really added a lot of fun details to this. It seemed like it almost came out to be like a scene of a microbiome or something. Overall, I'm excited to play with these again, and you should give them a try as long as you're not planning on trying to layer them into a painting. So, thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like more videos like this, please subscribe.